Hello and welcome to Coding with Stephen. Today we're going to be running through one of our JavaScript challenges, working with arrays to get the mean value. What we've got up here in front of us is a repository which just contains a whole bunch of information on getting set up with these JavaScript challenges. I'll drop a link into the description of the video so that you can go head over to GitHub, pull all this information down and get your development environment set up pretty much exactly like mine is here. So what we're going to do is we're going to head over to the Working with Arrays Mean challenge under the Basics folder. We're just going to familiarize ourselves with the instructions for this particular challenge. What we can see is that we're going to have a function called mean value of array, and what we need to do is make sure that function returns the result of the mean value of the array. Now, the mean value of an array is essentially the sum of all parts of the array. So if it's an array of integers, it's going to be the sum of all of those integers divided by the length or how many items are actually in that array to give you the mean value. For the purpose of this challenge, the array is always going to contain a minimum of one positive integer. So that's a minimum of one positive whole number. What we've got here is we've got a useful command that we can run just to execute the tests that we have for this particular challenge. They'll all fail to begin with, and that's normal because we haven't actually completed any of the code for this challenge. What I've done here as well is I put a link to a few different topics for how you can actually work through this particular challenge and some useful functions to have a look over, for each and for loops. What we'll do today is we'll actually look at a for loop to complete this challenge. I tend to find that's quite easy to read through and understand, so we'll make use of that. What we'll do then, let's head over to the JavaScript file where we've got our mean value of array function, and what we've got within there is there's one parameter which is just an array, which is going to be an array of numbers for us. So what we know that we need to do two things. We need to calculate the sum of the array, and then we need to return the sum of the array divided by the total number of items that are within that array to get the mean value. So what we'll do to begin with is we'll create ourselves a variable that will help us collect together the sum of all of the items in the array. So we'll give it a meaningful name, sum of array, and we'll give it an initial value of 0. And as I mentioned, we'll make use of a for loop for this particular challenge. So we'll do for const number of array. And what this essentially does is it iterates over all of the items within this array here, and for each item it'll give it a name of number, and then from within these curly braces here we can actually use this number to take an action upon that. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to act upon this variable here and increase it by the value of this number. So what we'll do is we'll just take sum of array and we'll use an arithmetic operator just to increment it by the value stored within number. And what this means is once this particular for loop has completed, the value of this sum of array will actually be the sum of all of the items within the array. So now that we've done that, we know that all we need to do now is just return this sum of array divided by the number of items within the array, which we can get by accessing a special property on array, which is array.length, which will just return us the total number of items that are within the array. So we'll just save that, and if we head back to our tests, we can run our tests just to make sure they all pass, and we've got 5 passing tests. What I'd highly recommend doing is once you've finished this challenge, just head over to the Mozilla Developer Network documentation for each, for loops and reduce, and see if you can have a go at completing this challenge using one of the other values or one of the other methods I've highlighted there. Well, that's it for this time. I'll catch you next time.